my worst first date that happened tonight. Let's talk about it. So this woman decides to call me at 8:30 p.m. asking to go to dinner. Since it is 8:30, I've already eaten dinner, but she proceeds to go, please go to dinner with me. I know you've eaten, but just go with me. I'm at home chilling, doing nothing, so I'm like, oh, sure, let's go out, let's have a good time. When she gets in the car, she proceeds to tell me that she can't hang out for long because she's gonna go to a bar and hang out with some other friends. So now, this feels like a let me call up some sucker to buy me dinner so I can have a full stomach to go hang out with other dudes. Hell no. This is her idea. She wanted to go here, she wanted to eat here. I order a little appetizer and then she orders a whole meal. She takes like 5 or 6 bites out of her food and goes, okay, I'm full, let's get the check. So when the check comes, I'm hoping she would have some courtesy, and since this is her idea, and since she asked me out, she would at least pay her tab. After about 2-3 minutes, she never grabs her wallet, so I go, hey, am I paying for all of this, or you want to go 50-50? Honestly, I felt kind of used in that moment. Let me call up some sucker to pay for my meal so I can go hang out with somebody else. If she told me up front, hey, let's grab dinner, I only have 45 minutes because I'm hanging out with somebody else, I wouldn't have driven 30 minutes over to Newport Beach to hang out with her then. So we both end up putting our cards down. The check comes back and she starts like grinning. She then says, you know what, I'm gonna give you like a little date review. So first things first, you didn't open up my car door. And number 2, I've never paid for my own food. In my head, I'm laughing. And then on top of that, the waiter comes back and says, hey, your card didn't go through, it declined. This chick doesn't even have $22 or $23 to pay for her meal. So now I really feel like I dodged a bullet. This girl didn't even have money for dinner. So she was expecting me to pay for it so she can go hang out with other dudes. So after she said what she said to my face, I'm like, okay, I'm not opening up your car door. And number 2, you asked me out. So wouldn't it make sense for you to pay your half and I pay mine? She, of course, gets all defensive and says, fine, I'll call my own Uber home. You can leave. So I go, bet. See you later.
To his house. So he invited me over to his house one night and I was doing my blowout, my silk press, and he was rushing me through the silk press. So I was considering not even doing my baby hair. I get there, he don't like the way I parked. I got to repark 3 times and then finally he goes, let me do it for you. So then we go inside, he's cooking sweet potatoes, by the way. He's like, these are my favorite thing to cook is roasted sweet potatoes. I look at them sweet potatoes, half of them burnt because he didn't chop them up in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. So he didn't learn to cut symmetrically from Gordon Ramsay or his mother, but that's neither here nor there. Also, he had 2 roommates, 2, so that means 3 people in a 2-bedroom house. You 34 years old and you're a structural engineer. Why you got 2 roommates? They had a sheet separating the bedroom. So he have his mattress on the floor with an airplane blanket on a mattress. And then on the other side is his friend's room. Let's go back to the food for a second because he was eating this really large bowl of salad and he had it underneath his arm like a football and was eating it like this. And it was really strong smell of vinaigrette and he kept asking me to kiss him. And I was like, nah, man, I'm not about to kiss you while you're eating a salad. And he was like really forceful about it. And I was like, no, fam. He goes, I want to watch a movie with you. I'm like, okay, but I'm looking around. Ain't no TV. How y'all is 3 people and nobody got a TV? Okay. So he goes, let me go and get my Dell computer. He opened up the Dell computer. This is the part that everybody remembers. He has like a million icons all over his home screen and I'm immediately stressed out. I'm like, bro, just close the Dell. He's opening the internet browser and he's like, I think it's a little too late to ask my brother for his Netflix password. So he looks at me like, bitch, you gonna give me your Netflix password? I'm looking at him like, oh no, you got me fucked up. So he turns on a free Amazon movie, y'all. It was like a Roman movie and I wasn't feeling it. I'm like, can we at least pay for a movie? He paid $3 for the Taraji P. Henson movie where she can hear men's thoughts. So I'm on the mattress with the airplane blanket on the floor on his side of the room watching this Taraji P. Henson movie with the Dell computer and his phone goes off because it's his bedtime, so he kicks me out.
Last night I took a girl out on a date. I haven't dated in 3 years. And I think this story might add to the reason why I'm made to be single the rest of my life. I picked this girl up. She wants Mexican food. I love it. This is off to a great start. I love Mexican food. We get to the Mexican restaurant. We are vibing. I'm telling you, vibing. And here we go. Here's where it starts. So, they have $10 margaritas. If you're of the drinking age, you know margaritas, Mexican restaurant, equals peanut butter and jelly. Vibe, mix and match, baby. So yeah, these are large margaritas, $10. Is that not expensive? Maybe it's not. It is to me, because, golly. Anyways, here's where this goes. We get 2 down each. They're great margaritas. Great margaritas. We're having a great time, great conversation. She proceeds to order 8 more margaritas. By the time this woman was getting, I'm cool with you drinking. I'm cool with paying for it. 3 to 4, maybe. I mean, baby, they're $10. Once she gets to 5 or 6, I start giving her. She don't care. I swear to you, this girl she was a fish. She was a fish with how she was drinking these margaritas. I was in shock. By the time she got to 6, 7 and was like kind of normal, I guess. It was a first date. I think she was normal. I don't know. But she didn't stop. And then here's where it hits me. I don't do math well, but I do know that 8 margaritas that are $10 each equals $80 on your end without tax, without the food. Are you kidding me? So I get this check. I pay for it, and I'm about to cry meanwhile while I'm looking at this receipt. I sign it. You know what she proceeds to say? She goes, I had the best time. I'm sure you did, Sally. You can't even probably walk straight right now if we stand up out of this booth. You just ordered. I'm single for life, man.
Started going to this popular gym here, and it was one of those gyms that were like group classes. So this guy who we used to go to some of the same classes, he approached me on some Atlanta type stuff because he was from Atlanta. I lived in Atlanta for a real long time, so that's kind of how we connected. We exchanged numbers. Not long after, he knew that I lived downtown, and he kind of lived far away into the city, but he was just like, hey, there's a really good pizza spot that's around the corner from your house. Let's meet there, cool. So I get cute or whatever, and I Uber to the pizza spot. First of all, it was like $15 to Uber a mile. Crazy, right? So I was already like irritated by that, but he didn't know that. Anyway, we get there, we go in, and we sit down. Now, the types of spots that's in downtown Dallas, if they have like a bar in them, they will usually take a card right away. Like as soon as you sit down, they just need to put like a card on file, right? So we sit down, the waitress comes up and she was like, hey, I just need a card to put on file. This man says nothing. He doesn't even look at her. He literally looks down like this, like at his lap, his phone, whatever. And it was so awkward. And one thing I hate is awkwardness. I'm like, oh, just put mine on file, right? Big mistake. I know y'all like, girl, I know where this is going. Well, it gets worse. So we put my card on file or whatever. We start looking over the menu. We both order 1 drink apiece. This is back when I used to drink. I actually stopped drinking a couple of months after that. But anyway, we order 1 drink apiece, and then we're looking at the pizza. And he suggested like getting 1 pizza and like splitting it. Like I get a flavor on one side and him on the other side. And that's a red flag too. For me, that's a red flag. But whatever, I'm agreeable or whatever, and so we ordered a pizza. So we're talking, conversation is going fine. We're talking about the gym, we're talking about life, all of this stuff, and then he chooses to tell me that he's going to be leaving the gym soon because he's trying to save money. Now, side note, our membership for that gym was somewhere around $130, $140 a month. And so he's telling me, yeah, I want to save money and all of this stuff. And to me, that was the 3rd red flag, because I hate when I first go out with somebody, I first meet somebody or a man, and they start telling me their money problems. Like, it's almost like they're trying to put me on notice to not expect much from them. So he's telling me all of this unwanted information about his finances and wanting to save money, blah, 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 right? So in the midst of these conversations, the waitress comes back 2 or 3 times just to ask us, hey, you want another drink? You need anything? Blah, blah, blah. Every single time this waitress came back, his head went like this, into his lap, into his phone. And I'm like, does he know her or something? But honestly, she was looking just as confused as me, because she was directing the questions to him because he is the man, and it was clear that we were on a date or whatever. But anyway, I'm like, no, ma'am, we don't need anything, blah, 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 or whatever, just trying to make it not awkward. Fast forward to the bill. So finally she comes back with the little thing, because they don't give you a paper bill. You pay right there with the little device or whatever. So she asks one simple question: would you like to keep the card that's on file? Would you like to pay with that card? She directs this question to him, and I know she did it on purpose. She was looking out. This man still has his head in his lap, literally ignores her. And so I decide I'm not going to say anything. I want to see like how long. Y'all, when I tell you a full fucking minute went by, me and the waitress looking at each other like he is flat out ignoring her, like not saying a word. So finally I'm like, yeah, go ahead, use the card on file, because clearly he's not going to pay or whatever. Y'all, guess how much the bill was? $38. And I think that was with my tip. $38. This man got me for $38. Soon as I paid, signed the little thing or whatever, and the waitress leave, his head up, he's talking again. Oh yeah, I had a really good time with you. I am pissed at this point or whatever. So I'm like, all right, bye or whatever. So we both end up walking outside at the same time. He parked right in the front, and I'm calling my Lyft, and he's talking to me about music or something. I'm just trying to hurry up and call my Lyft or whatever. Lyft gets there, and he tries to hug me before I get in the car. And I'm just like, yeah, handshake, like, all right, get in the car, block that man number as the Lyft was pulling off.
So since everybody else is doing these first date horror stories, I'm gonna chime in. I went on a first date recently, and he looked like his pictures, so that's good. And you're wondering, oh, Avery, what do you mean he looked like his pictures? I've been catfished before. Couldn't tell that was the person whenever I showed up at the bar. I couldn't tell that was them, like from the photos. So guy looked like his pictures. We're talking, we're hanging out. Dinner is great. I eat all of mine before he finishes, which fine, whatever. Then he makes looks behind him, and he's kind of staring, and I'm like wondering what he's looking at, and he says, I think there's some homosexuals over there. And not only did he say homosexuals, which who the fuck says that, but we are in like a hip area. Like there are gay people everywhere. It's a culturally diverse place. I've never heard anybody say some crazy shit like that at dinner here. I was real taken aback, and that is when I couldn't continue to pretend like the date was okay. Then he tries to follow that up with oh, I think this guy at work is gay, but I'm not sure. And he doesn't look gay, or he doesn't look like a homosexual. He kept saying homosexual, not gay. And I just was so taken aback, and I stopped being interested in the conversation. I was thinking, oh, he will get the hint. And I had promised that we would go bowling after dinner. So now I'm stuck, do I go bowling and tough it out? The woman in me says oh, don't make him feel bad and just go bowling. And so I do. And I mean, the whole time he's just oh, you're doing a great job, and wants to give me a high five. He kicks my ass in bowling. I'm terrible at bowling. I just like to go because I think it's fun. And he is kicking my ass, full form, and I was if he fucking tries to teach me how to bowl, mansplain that to me, I swear to God. But I mean, we do an hour of that, and then the time is up. And, he's should we continue? So it's 8:30. I got to go home. And so I left, but I quit texting him, and he kept on. He just keeps on, and sending pictures of him in the gym. Very strange. But yeah, so that was a first date.
Like, I'm so embarrassed talking about this. This is a horrible date story. So, when I was working 9 to 5 job, I never had a chance to go out on dates or anything. So I always chat. And I get to meet this man. He told me he had 2 kids, but he lost his wife. I don't. And I was like, okay. And we fixed the dates. On this date was a Saturday late by 6:30. I closed from work and I told him I'm just closing from work. I look rough and all that. And he was like, I just want to see you. Like, I'm always on lookouts. Like you can see, I'm always on lookouts. So only during Sundays or anytime I'm going outing that I'm able to wear wigs. That's if I feel like it. And then I just went straight to see this man and we talked. It was nice. By 7:30, yeah, by 7:30, I told him I need to go home to go and freshen up and also rest. And he said, okay, that he needs to get back to his children. And when I got home, the first message I got was, I don't think this can work. I didn't reply because there was no need replying or anything. So there was nothing I could say at this point. And maybe he was angry I didn't reply him or so. And maybe after 9 hours or 10 hours of sending the first message, he sent another message and said, hey, you need to shop. When you to shop, I'll be able to date you. And who works in a company where you in an electrical company where you dust wire, where you're the one that pack up, load up wire and all that, and look neat by 6 in the evening. My job was a dirty job, so and it paid. It pays so well. I told this man I was looking rough. And he said, fine, I need to see you. I want to see you since you don't always have the chance from Monday to Saturday. And then he goes ahead and told me you need to shop, get more clothes, get more wigs. Like I was so embarrassed. That really touched me. I've not even told anyone this story because how will I start saying, how will I start telling people about this that someone asked me to go to shop before coming back to dating? But anyways, I got to meet my husband on same dating app. Yeah.